today in our process, we will be looking at making a pattern, how you just come up with a basic pattern for a leather product. We shall look at cutting the leather. We can look at how you put it together, how you glue it together, how you stitch it together. So we're not going into deep details of now how do you put in lining, how do you put in zippers, how do you... So we'll just make a basic leather bag.
Making the pattern. Why do we make the pattern? In leather, you make a pattern because once you cut one bag and a client comes and tells you, oh, I want that same bag, yeah? Instead of telling the client, I don't remember the sizes, I don't remember. So usually we make a pattern. And then even if you have adjustments, when you finish the bag and you say, oh, the top is too large, I want to adjust. So you already have something that you can work with to adjust. So we shall make a simple tote bag. So I use Manila for making patterns because it's a bit more structured, and then it also doesn't get spoiled very fast, other than using normal paper. So we shall decide our bag. Maybe we want it to be 25. 25 is big, okay. 20 centimeters by 25. Let's make 20, 25. Then maybe you have the sides, which are 8 centimeters. Then you have straps, 75 or 50. Because this is going to be a small bag.
So do you just make them on order or just make and ready for people to try?
So we've decided our bag is 20 by 25 by 8. So I will draw out my panels. You can decide, maybe I want a line here on the bag. So you'll decide maybe on that line, from that spot, I want that to be 20. So then here you have 5 balance, yeah? And then maybe I want the bottom piece to be the 5, then the 8, then the 5 again on the other side. So that's 5, 5, and then 8. So that's the bottom part. But because here, yeah, so we'll have one panel of 20, 21, that's 20 plus 1 allowance, yeah? So let's cut the first panel. Sorry. By what? By 20. I usually fold the patterns because I find when I fold it, you find like the line is straight on both sides, yeah? So this was supposed to be 20, so then now here I divide it by 2 to make 10, right? So you have 10, but we need an allowance. here you have 22 instead of 20. So I remove the extra. This size top. So this side it's also 20. This side we need allowance as well. So this side let's leave it as 20. Small tot. Both sides, yeah? And since it's a small tot, you need handles. So you mark the spot for handles as well. And you say your handles will come from, you stitch it from there up to here. So you'll have your handles going like that. So here. So we have both sides of the bag, the front and the back side top part. So now we'll make the bottom part, which we measure to be 5 plus 8 plus 5. That's 10, that's 18. Yeah? So that's 18 by 20 as well. Shamin, pick my pen. Talk to Marcella. So because we're joining this to this, so you need it to be the same length. So we'll measure our 20 here. You need it to be what? 18. Divide by 2. That's 9, right? That's 9. Which are marked. So you mark the parts where the bottom begins, yeah? Those are those parts. So you find that this is 5 that we talked about, the 5, then this is 8, and then this is another 5, yeah? So this is bottom. So I didn't add here an allowance because this already has an allowance, 1 centimeter. So we'll join this to this, yeah? And on the other side, do the same thing, yeah? So we have a bag which is, the top part is 25 centimeters. So now we need the side part of the bag. This, we need now to make the side part of the bag. This one. So since this is 25, so it has to be 26 plus allowance. So that's 8. So it's 8. So half, that's 4. But I'm going to add an allowance to make 5. Usually I like to make the bottom part a bit larger as well, depending on the design of the bag. So let's cut out the top part. And then we say it's 25 allowance plus, so that's 25. But that's the stitching allowance from the bottom, yeah? So here at the top, if we have, we have 5. So when it comes to the bottom, oops, 10, 25. So then here we add the bottom. I would add to make it 6. But for joining down, I have to add like a split here.
Why do you have to split?
Because when you're joining this to the bottom, it's hard for you to make this corner stitch. So, but when you do this, when you stitch this together, it makes the corner on its own. Yeah. So, leather. Any from the, yeah, so have all our pieces. This is the side for the gazette. This is the top part. This is the bottom part. For a sample, Shamin, this is the top part. So you have your full bag. So usually the straps, I'll decide maybe it's 2 centimeters by how long it is, which I agreed was 50. So that one it's easier for me to measure without forming a pattern. But for these, I need this because later, if I try to join this and it's not joining properly, then I can come and adjust. This is pebbled leather. It's cow leather, but it's called pebbled because of this surface on it. So you can put your pattern or you can draw on the back, because we don't draw on leather on the front, because it's hard to remove the pen mark after you've drawn. It's going to be a bit hard for you to try and remove the pen mark unless you're using a special pen for leather. So this is for 2 sides, so it's just good you write times 2, sorry. So if you're not there and it's someone else cutting, they know, oh, this one will cut 2 pieces. This one is also times 2. No, this is times 1. Then this one is times 2. So when you're cutting leather, because it's expensive, you try and maximize the usage. Around it, of course, so that it's easier for me. One piece. I rarely use scissors for cutting leather.
Why?
Because then you don't get a straight edge. And yet bags have to look neat and straight. So now when you cut this with a scissor, you find that the edge is not neat. So it makes the product also look a bit shabby. So you mark your pieces so that you don't mix them up. Even here, you can just put a small mark to show you where the other part joins. This is your pattern. You also have to mark the upper side. There are pens specifically for leather work, but currently we don't have. So I highly discourage writing on leather. With the big O. So we need the second piece of this.
these get blunt, so you can just snap off a piece.
But most people don't know that you can actually keep the paper cutter sharp by just removing one. You see those lines? All cutters come with those lines. So you just snap off one, then you get a sharp edge again. Okay, so I have our pieces together. These are the sides. This is the side top. This is the bottom. This is pairs of that. Yeah. Now we need the strap, which is 50 centimeters long.
How long should I strap?
It really depends on the bag you're designing. So this one, we're making it 50. So I cut slightly a bit longer. So we're doing 50 by what? 50 by 2. So what I usually do, I mark them together plus the lining. So these are 2 pieces because one is going to go under this one, so that you don't have the strap like this because it's a bit weak also when you're using a bag. So usually line it with one glue and the butter. So these are bottles we just picked from outside. They work for us as glue. You just make holes up, yeah? Everything has its different kind of glue. The one for leather is different, the one for rubber is different, the one for paper is different. So now you can't use paper glue here because it will get off. So here usually even one side of glue is enough, because if you're putting like in sandals and you're not going to stitch, it's advisable you put on 2 pieces and you leave it to dry for a few minutes and then you put it together. But here, because we're still going to stitch, we just need to help the material not to move. So that's why I put just on one side. And I measure out my 50 centimeters. Now when I cut both of them like this, it will ensure they're all the same length. Then I make the individual ones. So the top pieces, now you have to mark where the straps go. So this.
Here, because we're going to cover with a strap, but you also want to put the strap so that when you're stitching it's not moving, so that's why we put some little glue. So when you put, it shouldn't come beyond like where you're going to put the strap, so it's just to help it hold while you're stitching. Yes, this specific one is especially for bags, and I'll show you why in a short. So with glue and leather, you have to leave it for a few minutes, like 3 to 5, because it bonds well when you give it some time to dry. And also it doesn't spoil the machine when you stitch when it's wet. So then now we're using as our guide the previous lines we put.
Finish putting our straps on the bag. Now we're going to attach the bottom part. So sometimes to measure, I use simple tools we have in the workshop. So like now this is a gauge. So where we join this piece of leather from. So we are getting ready to finish this. So it's always important to apply glue, especially to the joints, because leather moves. Leather is not like fabric that you can stitch and it all. Once you put leather on a sewing machine and it's not held together, it moves. Then you find one side is long, there's an extra piece. So it's always important to put glue, but also not to put too much glue, because this is just to help the pieces join together. It's not to keep it together, because after the stitches, then the stitches do the work. So you remember the points I marked? I like starting with that. So this is a bit larger at the bottom. So you see now, when I was making the pattern, I didn't think about that, so it's larger at the bottom. Then you'll find that probably it will be short at the top or something. So I put the bottom first, then now I come, fix the top also, and then join the rest. Oh, fits perfectly. How did I know? It's usually hard to find that the first pattern you make fits. So you find that you have to tweak a lot of things, cut here, cut there, but I see this one. So now after designing like this, I have to take the patterns, then I measure them out. So this is 20. Oops, sorry. 20 by 21. Times 2. Then I feed them onto the computer to give me how much leather this is. Yeah? Then with the price that I got the leather at, it gives me the cost of this one piece that I've used. Yes. So I can't just tell you now this one costs this amount of money, because now when you look at it, you know, you can guess and think, this is very little leather. But when you feed it onto the computer and every piece, and like you have to cost every piece, even these and these, because if you're making 100 bags and you've not costed this might be your profit. So this stitches leather as well, yeah? But this is more like for fat places like this. So this one, when it comes to stitching something that has a groove like this, it's really difficult. So that's why on this one, it has this, you know, small area where the bag just goes through. And also it's very good for maybe the upper part. You see how it goes, so it goes round. So even if I have to stitch this bag in the middle here, I'll push it inside and then I stitch it round. So this is a specialist machine for leather bags. Leather goods, leather bags. It stitches some parts of shoes, sandals, but it's designed for bags.